Where do we start? Where do we start? From the highs of Saturday to the lows of a Tuesday night against Great Shelford in the Cambridgeshire Cup, and it felt like that, didn't it? It really did feel like a pre-season friendly trialist game. Credit to Great Shelford. I thought they were a half-tidy outfit, really. They didn't deserve to lose tonight, and we've scraped by. I've just said it to the boys in the changing rooms. You cannot, and I keep going on about it, you cannot just turn it on and off like a switch. You have to be prepared from when you get up in the morning on match day to when you come in, from when the whistle goes to when the whistle stops. And we just was miles off it tonight. Just daft things. We didn't really create any clear-cut chances. We scored a goal from a little bit of hard work and determination, and then he's prodded it home, and then we concede from the most frustrating thing, a set piece, which I hark on about all the time, that a lot of set pieces at these levels are scored, and if you switch off to them, that's where you concede goals. So that's disappointing. And then we're under the cosh for the last 15 minutes because, with no disrespect to Great Shelford, it's an FA Cup final for them. Whereas I've looked at it a little bit differently. I've needed to give players minutes that deserve minutes, in all fairness. Pat is here week in, week out. I never get a murmur out of him. I never get any trouble out of him. So he deserved his chance. Obviously, Jow back tonight. He's been in and out, available, unavailable. Showed in glimpses what he's all about. Rested Cesar, who's been magnificent for us. Wardy obviously wasn't here Saturday, but he's been another colossal for us, so he got a rest. Amir, who's played the last two games after needing minutes, but I don't want to give him 3 90s in a week and pick up an injury, because these sort of things happen. Morgs has come in. Morgs was keen to play and get his fitness up, as we know. Again, he just didn't really do anything tonight, no real fault of his own. We were just poor on the ball all over. We kept taking unnecessary chances at the back, which we don't really do. All fairness, Max has come in. He doesn't know how I play, so I've had no time to work with him, but did okay. And these lads are young boys. They don't know how to win and close out games, because that comes with games and experience and time. So yeah, we've just sort of ambled over the line, and that's how it felt tonight. Very, very lucky to win on penalties, obviously, but I thought, we probably deserved it with the penalties taken. And the biggest positive is young 16-year-old Harley, who came on, gave him 15 or 20 minutes maybe, and do you know what? He's a big boy for 16, puts himself about, tried to hold it up. I think he's flicked one on, chased it himself, and then I've picked the takers myself, and I've purposely picked him to put a little bit of pressure on his shoulders, and what a penalty, unbelievable for the lad. So I just said to him in there, I said, listen, I'm not dishing out of a telling off to the lads, but we know we're better than that, much better than that. I said, but the biggest positive for me tonight is your performance, young, and he's over the moon in there. He's absolutely over the moon. So that was the positive. But if we play anything like that Saturday, we'll be nowhere near.
And will he stay in the first team squad for Saturday, or?
I'll have a look at what numbers I've got available. I don't know who's coming back and who's in, who I need. But he'll definitely be in my mind. I'll have him in for training with us, because that brings you on leaps and bounds in itself. I had the 16-year-old goalkeeper from the 18s tonight as well, did the warm-up, and he was quite impressive. He was a good size. So these lads are chomping at the bit, and I was when I was 16. I'd do anything to just be involved with the first team when I was a young YTS, and I'd travel length and breadth of the country just to put the kit out, really. And that's the attitude you need to get yourself noticed. And when you do get your chance, you go out there and you show what you're all about. And listen, he's done wonders for himself tonight. So he gets himself in at least to training and builds and gets a feel for being around the first team squad, and around good players, and players where it means something to them. So I think he'll come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and the second penalty shootout win of the season, probably very much the same sort of as in the Vase. The same sort of, not a great game. We still got through
Yeah, we're not great at nicking 3 points, but we're quite good at penalties, aren't we? Hey, we're all right at penalties, to be fair. Yeah, it's pleasing. Obviously, it's a lottery, really. But you go out there and I always got told to pick a place and you put it away. But yeah, 2 out of 2. As a manager, if I can carry that on throughout my career, I'll might nick 1 or 2 next rounds of the cup and whatnot. But listen, it was almost a non-event, non-starter tonight. It was a really poor. I feel sorry for the fans that came to watch it, but it's just felt like one of them games from start to finish.
And obviously, players coming and going quite regular at the moment. Are you hoping to get more of a settled squad now?
Yeah, I think so. I mentioned it on Saturday that I'd not been able to pick the same sort of 11 or 16 week on week, and that's not changed through my own choice tonight. But now we're just getting to that point where I can start picking regular 11s, 16s, starting to get a little bit of experience in that we need. And it's slowly looking up. I mean, if we perform like we did on Saturday going forward, I don't think we'll have many problems. But if we put in a show like we did tonight, might need to bring a few more in. But no, all joking aside, it's just starting to settle down a little bit, and it's starting to give us a little bit of hope, and the hard work is starting to pay off, which is what we need, really.
Go on, Ollie. Yeah, good lad.